You're listening to the Digital Data Café podcast, where we talk about everything data-driven in your world. Join us each week to hear from the world's top business and industry leaders on why using data in a digital world matters. Here's your host, Albert Thompson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Digital Data Café. This is your host, Albert Thompson. I'm very excited to be with Paul Meijer, CEO, founder of DealerVendorMatch.com. Paul, thank you for joining. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Albert. Thank you very much for having me. This is an exciting show that you're doing here.
No, this is exciting. And another reason why it's super exciting, I'm no podcast host by any stretch of the imagination, but episode number 10, Paul. So
well, you're doing pretty good for a guy that's claiming not to be a podcast host. You're doing a really good job with this. I like it.
I appreciate it, man. Listen, we're just trying to get the word out, educate retailers, talk about value in the market and how we can help businesses use digital media and data. And, I think that, really talks to your story as well, Paul, Dealer Vendor Match. And so why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and who's Paul Meijer and how did you, get to where you're at today? What's your story?
All right. So since I was born, I've always been into cars. I was the kid in school that drew all the really cool sports cars and hot rods. And my initial goal was I wanted to be a car designer.
Really?
So I went to school about a year and a half of mechanical engineering school. And at that time, I determined that I didn't want to draw any more nuts and bolts. It was getting really old. So cars being my love, I went into the repair business, the fixed op side of things in the aftermarket. And I started as a trainee mechanic, worked my way up to shop foreman, store manager. And that was a great experience because I was in a fast-paced environment,
Sure.
Dealing with thousands of people in their most vulnerable state when their car broke down. So you learn a lot about the business and you learn a lot about people. So a lot of years in service, that led to an opportunity in sales. I hadn't really planned on going into the sales part of it. So I was tired of the rat race within the aftermarket. So I said, all right, I'm going to go get a service advisor job at a dealership.
Right.
As I'm walking through the showroom, I'm seeing the salespeople hang out. They look like they were having a really good time.
Right.
Work didn't really look like what they were doing, but I knew at that point that's something that I wanted.
Right.
However, I didn't have any car sales experience at that time.
Okay.
So when I went to the owner, I met with the owner and I said, listen, I'm gonna level with you. I've really come here for a sales job. He says, yeah, but you don't have any experience, but I'll tell you what. Work in my service department for a year. When we split up our two showrooms, I'll give you the first sales job. So that's what I did. And that was my entry into sales. That led to another opportunity where this was early on when Priceline.com came out. Yeah. And we used to get those wonderful faxes. Hi, I'm John Doe and I'm shopping you and 10 other car dealerships. I want your best price. I want availability, best terms, all of that. And oh, by the way, you have to submit your proposal by 5 o'clock tomorrow to even be considered.
Yep.
Most people were like, oh, I hate this. And this is going to go away. Well, I realized early on it wasn't going away. And it never did go away. Mm-hmm. It just got more intense.
Yes, it did. So that's so you got into sales and how did you do in sales? I mean, what took you to the next level? Did you get into sales management from there? Or?
It was great. So I ran eBay stores. I exported cars. I shipped cars across the country. I really embraced the whole digital piece of it.
That's awesome.
And that's why I laugh today when people say, "Oh, digital retailing and let's ship cars." I did that 20 plus years ago. I remember. I had a thriving eBay store going, and every time the phone would chime, oh, another person won your bid. Well, one guy challenged me. I had a 300 SD Mercedes that this guy won the bid, and I see Sweden. Okay, at that point, I had not exported cars before.
Right.
So I figured I'd do like everybody in the car business. Hey, thanks for winning the auction. How are you planning on getting the car? Send. Right. He responds with, he puts it on me. He says, well, if you can figure out a way to get it to me,
I'll buy it.
Continue the transaction. Like, Oh man, puts it right back in my lap.
Yep.
So I get on the internet, I do a little bit of search. I find this logistics place in New Jersey that ships cars worldwide. A couple of emails later, a wire transfer confirmation, and voila, I'm shipping a car to Oslo. So it's amazing what you learn when you have to.
Well, you know, it's funny that you brought this story up because you and I have not, previous to this show, we have not discussed this. But so in about 1999, I myself cut my teeth into the eBay. Right, that was how I first got into selling for dealers. So I was, this 16-year-old kid in '98. Got this digital camera, shooting pictures for dealers, and I had the exact same situation almost happened to me, except it happened with Ferraris. And listen to this, had a guy from Germany, all right, that wanted to buy the new 2001, I think, or whatever the case was at that time, the Ferrari 360 Monadas, right? And back then, at that time, there was this, like, everyone was paying 50, 60K over sticker, right?
Yeah.
And he was like,
good old days.
Yes. So this guy gets a hold of me and he's like, hey, man, if you can find another one of these, I'll buy as many as you can get. And so, I'm scouring everywhere. I'm looking. You can't find them. Everyone's over sticker. And I find this guy who's got several of them, but they're in Canada and they're Euro spec. So I reached out to this guy and was like, hey, man, I can get them. And actually, less money, but they're Euro spec. And he's like, I'll take them.
Yeah, why not?
And look, and I marked it up like 10. I'm like 18 years old. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm marking these things up 10, 15 grand each. He's like, I want 5 of them. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm about to cut my teeth on this greatest deal ever. And he's like, I just need you to get them to me. And guess what, man? We'll have to talk about this later. I found a shipping transport logistics company in New Jersey to do the deal. And
yeah, it's amazing.
That's probably the same exact company we used.
And you know what's funny is that, once you build this online thing, they will come.
They will.
You have a good reputation. Right. I had a company, I had 2 companies, one in California and one in Arizona, that the guy would call me up, hey, I need however many silver, black, or gray sport model RX 350s you can get your hands on.
Right.
So I would have a transporter show up at the dealership, pick up 5, 10, sometimes 2 transporters, pick up a bunch of cars in one shot. I even had power of attorney for the company, so I was able to facilitate the transaction to make it really easy. So the whole digital thing, I mean, that started so long ago. We oftentimes tend to forget the basic stuff that we already did. It's nothing new.
It's nothing new. It's just an evolution of a different time, a different story, and a different consumer journey. So, that's incredible. So that's your origin story. Well, then let me ask you this. And I think our listeners would be interested to hear, what's dealer vendor match and how did this start and what is it? All
right. So I've been in the business. This will be my 43rd year that I'm getting in. So
you look great, man. No, you're not old. You look great.
So it used to be, I'll relate it to another story. I met my wife on a dating site. All right. It used to be you met your significant other in a bar or a restaurant or a church or some other event. But now let's face it, everybody's really busy.
Yeah.
So nobody has time. Nope. And it's the same thing with the consumers in the car business. Nobody has time. They'd rather just be able to find what they need online. They can do all the research. And when they've decided what they want to buy, they just click and go.
That's right.
When I met my wife, I had a profile. I had my preferences set. I knew what I was looking for, so I could reach out when I found what I was looking for the way I wanted to on my terms.
That's right.
Consumers can now buy cars on their terms. And the age-old problem between the dealership world and the vendor world is that there's no synergy, right? The vendor always thinks that it's a great time to pop in. The dealer always hates when the vendors just pop in because it's never a good time. Right. If there's an 8-hour day or a 12-hour day, you have 15 to 16 hours worth of commitments already. So for somebody to show up and interrupt that doesn't really work.
No.
And some of these guys have really great products. They're really great people. They do all the research. They know where the holes are.
That's right.
So they're not going in on a fishing expedition. They're going in to legitimately help the dealer become more efficient and more profitable.
That's right.
Yet 10 phone calls in, no return calls.
Right.
10, 15 emails out, no return emails.
Right.
You show up, you've got your best suit on, your shoes are shined, you could see the reflection of your face in the cap toe of your shoe. You're looking so good.
That's right.
And you know you're looking for Mr. or Mrs. Jones, and you ask for them. And the first thing the gatekeeper says is, I'm sorry, do you have an appointment?
Yes.
Well, you really should have called first. Well, actually, I called 10 times. I emailed 15 times, and nobody responded. So I'm here. I'd like to set up an appointment with Mr. or Mrs. Jones.
Sure.
Well, I'm sorry, they're in a meeting right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you'd like to leave something behind, they'll call you as soon as they look at it. Now, when does that call back typically come?
Never. And the leave behind, kiss of death. You don't leave nothing behind.
You're done.
Done.
So since consumers are able to conclude a transaction all on their own, I figure why not free up the dealer's time and give them that same type of service? So now dealers join for free.
Right.
Vendors support the portal by buying sponsorships or buying memberships, where we promote them to dealerships across the country 24/7. So the dealer, they're busy. They may have 5 minutes on a Wednesday morning at 5:30 a.m. to go on the portal, do a quick search for the type of technology or type of vendors they're looking for when they need it. Now, they may not need it now.
Right.
But guess what? 6 months from now, when they have that need, oh, you know what? I've gotten 100 emails from this company that represents this particular vendor that I'm looking for.
Yeah. Paul, it's fascinating that you're saying this. Fortunately for me, in not quite 43 years, but I think roughly 25 years, cutting my teeth with Auto Trader, Carfax, been fortunate enough to be on both sides of the desk, right? I've been on the vendor side and I've been on the dealer side, had a used car store. So to your point, right? There were moments as a dealer when I was like, you know what, man, I really need this email service, or I need this geofencing, or whatever the case may have been at that moment. And I needed to talk to someone specific, or I need a floor plan provider. I need a floor plan right now, right?
Yeah.
But, had that floor plan provider came and talked to me, 6 months later, I didn't need them, right? But they were wasting their time. And then on the vendor side, how many times at Auto Trader did I walk into a dealer? It's like, look, man, he's in meetings, can't do it, spinning your wheels. And so what you're doing is you're meeting the vendor and the dealer at the same place at the right time. You're connecting them.
And here's the beauty of it. When you have a company and you have a sales force out there, these guys and gals are professionals.
That's right.
They don't come cheap.
No.
Okay. You're spending easily $100,000 to $150,000 over a year span between salary, bonuses, benefits, company car. Easy. You're spending that much money with zero guarantee of any success. They'll keep a rep for 6 months, and after that, they bounce them if they don't produce, and the cycle starts all over again.
Yeah.
For a fraction of that, we represent you for an entire year, and we're not the be-all, end-all. We're a part of your overall strategy. And I always tell people, the only thing that flips on instantly when you flip the switch is a light bulb.
That's right. There you go.
And every once in a while, even those burn out.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and from a dealer perspective, right? I mean, think about it. If I'm ABC vendor rep, and I really need to make sure that my message is getting to that GM or that decision maker, right? I don't need to talk to the internet manager. I don't need to talk to the UC. I need to talk to the decision maker. If I have an opportunity to get that message and I know that it's getting in front of that general manager or that decision maker, I'm all for it. And if dealer vendor match can make that happen, like you said, may not be the end all be all, but if it can make those connections happen as a seller, I'm all in.
Yeah, it just makes it a whole lot easier. And like I said, it's a part of the overall strategy, that you need to do. You need to be everywhere today because you can't always connect the dots. And you don't always know, was it the first time the 5th time or the 30th time that they saw your content that caused them to take action. And I'll give you a perfect example.
Yeah.
Okay. Gary Vaynerchuk puts it best when he says, everything always takes longer than you plan. Okay.
Very good point.
We always think everything works instantly, and if it doesn't work right away, it's not going to work. Well, let me give you the analogy or the anatomy of a particular deal. Okay. A key player in a big company connects with me in December of 2018. In 2020, that person connects me with their key person.
Okay.
In 2021, that key person connects with a company who then becomes a referral to our company, who a few months later signs up for the platform. Now, that's a deal that started in 2018 as far as I'm concerned, because had I not had any contact with that person in 2018, it would not have led to the contact in 2020.
That's right.
The introduction in 2021 and the deal that happened in 2021.
That's right. You never know when it's going to actually materialize to where it comes together. And you have to keep in that funnel. You have to keep that contact, communication stream going.
Constantly. It's sales is a long game.
Yes.
Anybody that says, "Oh, I'm going to get rich quick," you're in the wrong business.
Yeah, 100%. It's about relationships too. We don't have to get into the sales anatomy, but you and I both know, right? People buy people. It's about relationships, and it's building that long-term, nurturing, fostering that relationship. And to your point, delivering on what you say you're going to do, and then nurturing that partnership. So out of curiosity, on Dealer Vendor Match, how have some of the successes been? I mean, can you share with us some insights on some, connections, some connective tissue that's happened?
Absolutely. So we get emails from dealerships that respond, "Hey, I'm interested. Can you let me know a little bit more?" Or the other day I got an email that said, "Hey, this looks really good. This is the person at the dealership that you need to speak with." So we get intros. Let me just see here. This really says exactly what the portal is all about. So I'm going to play this. It's a very short one. Hold on one second.
Please do. Would love to hear it.
Hi, I'm John Frazier, and I'm the service director here at Paul Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Dallas, Georgia. I'd like to take just a moment to share with you about my experience with DealerVendorMatch.com. Over the past year, our service business has grown exponentially. It's resulted in more traffic across our service drive and even more traffic across our phones. We desperately needed a BDC solution that would allow us to complete our day-to-day tasks more efficiently, all while meeting the needs of our customers that were calling into the store. Dealer Vendor Match allowed me to search through an array of vendors on my time and on my terms with no pressure whatsoever. It really gave me the opportunity to zero in on the perfect solution for our department. We ultimately chose to do business with Traver Connect out of Texas, and they've done an incredible job over the past few months assisting our service advisors and taking care of our customers' needs as they call into the store. So I recommend to you that no matter what solution you're looking for, whether it's the front of the store or the back of the store, when you're looking for a vendor for your dealership, make your first stop DealerVendorMatch.com.
Well, there you have it, man.
In a nutshell, what it's about.
Well, I love it. Number one, absolutely love it. Number two, what he says that resonates with me is on my time and on my terms. And as if you're a dealer out here and you're listening to this, and most of you probably are, you know exactly what that means. I don't need some vendor walking into my store when I'm in the middle of trying to conduct business. I'm desking 6 deals. I've got, an internet manager that's called off. And now you're coming in here trying to pitch me something I don't need on my time, on my terms at that moment.
Right. It's not that they don't need it. They may just not need it right now.
That's right. Not right now. And so, and think about this from a salesperson, perspective, Paul. You might be giving yourself the worst disservice by walking in at the wrong time, at the wrong place, but it could be the perfect solution.
And now here's the beauty. Right now we're in this bubble. So dealers really, there's not a lot of need for a lot of things.
That's right.
Because let's face it, if you've got 30 people coming in for the 15 cars that you have, how much do you really need additional help with that? You don't. However, now is the time when things are good to cement your future by putting yourself out there, being in front of the dealer body, because there's going to come a time in the not too long from now future where we're going to go back to pre-pandemic type situations where the complaints were inventory carrying costs are choking us, and there's not enough people coming through the door. We're going to go back to something like that.
Yep.
So now is the perfect time to be prepared and to make sure that you've scouted out some of those areas where you know you're going to need work because you've had that problem before. The great thing is that dealerships, locations, people, personnel, they may all change, but the same scenarios tend to play themselves out over many years across the country.
I couldn't agree with you more. And as a matter of fact, some of the larger groups that we work with, we say the same thing. It's you need to take this moment in time for those that get ahead of it. And look, think about even the inventory crisis. It was the retailers that bought ahead of the crunch. They knew, right? They're the ones that did well. They're the ones that had inventory when everyone else was dry. So no different now in terms of your media, your data, the way you buy, the way you're structuring your brand. Those that take advantage of this opportunity now will be ahead of the curve when we go back to pre-pandemic levels. So, really great point. That's exciting about Dealer Vendor Match, but Paul, I mean, listen, it doesn't stop there for you. I mean, you're doing some crazy stuff with podcasting and LinkedIn and what Sunday Night Live. I was going to almost said Saturday Night Live, but I think that's taken, right?
That one was already taken.
All right, so it's Sunday Night Live. So tell us about Sunday Night Live.
All right. Everybody's home on a Sunday night. I don't care if you're a vendor or a dealer. For the most part, you're home Sunday night. It's not date night. You're home.
That's right.
You're relaxing. You're unwinding. And those of us that want to get ahead in life are always sharpening our axe. Sure. So Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern, which is 5 o'clock on the West Coast, so it's a reasonable time for anybody. We have dealers and vendors tune into the show every week. And what we do is we bring on the experts that share with us what they do and how they make the dealers more efficient and more profitable. So it's a free show for people to watch. There's a lot of regular people that watch the show every week. And, if you're sitting there and you're learning from people that are established in the business, maybe one or two things that, hey, you know what? Yeah, we struggle with that. Maybe I'm going to reach out to this person. And it happens all the time. On our last show this past Sunday, one of the service guys said, hey, how do we get a hold of you? Because they're interested in learning more.
Right.
So it's not, it's an educational hour where, look, I'm in this going on 43 years now, and I'm learning new stuff every day.
Yes.
And when I bring on people that they're thought leaders and they're part of our world that share with the audience what they do, everybody benefits. My good buddy Paul Meijer from Black Book says it best: a rising tide lifts all boats.
Yes.
And he's 100% right. So every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, Paul Meijer Sunday Night Live, tune in and share it with your community, because you're going to learn something that's going to help either yourself or one of your friends in the business.
Well, sharpening the axe, right? I love that. And Sunday night, if you're a thought leader and you're moving forward in your business, I will tell you this: Sunday night, you are looking forward to your Monday business. You're thinking about how you're going to get ahead. Paul, I will tell you, and I can attest to this as a former guest of Sunday Night Live. It's extremely valuable, and the relationships that we actually forged, believe it or not, has come from that show. I mean, one that I could tell you right now, and you mentioned Black Book, so we'll give them a little bit of a shout out here. On our show, helped to put that relationship together. with Driven IQ. So, absolutely super valuable. I regularly watch it, and get a lot out of it, and learning from dealers like, Brian Kramer. So it's been an exciting show to watch, and you're doing a great thing with it. So, kudos to you there.
Thank you very much.
So, and that's on, if I wanted to watch that, for our listeners. So that's 8:00 Sunday night
Eastern time.
And
right on my LinkedIn. Right on my LinkedIn. Yeah. Right on the profile. I also share it in two groups. I have Paul Meijer Sunday Night Live page, actually, and the dealervendormatch.com page on LinkedIn. So for those of you watching, please like and follow those pages as well.
All right. So perfect. Now, I think if it's all right, we save the best for last, right? And I was telling you, I didn't want to date the show, but I think we're going to have to date the show.
I think we're going to have to, man.
It's the year 2022. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But, NADA 2022, March 11th through the 13th, Las Vegas, Driven IQ there. And this is not about us, but this is, something exciting. We will have a booth there. And, Paul, why don't you, give us the honors? Tell us what's going to be a collaboration there.
All right. So Albert and I are going to be doing kind of power interviews at NADA booth number 6943.
Yes.
So, and we'll have a calendar link set up in short order on both of our profiles and our business pages. So be sure to sign up for that. It's going to be about a 10-minute power
10-minute power pod.
Yeah.
10-minute power pods, right? So we'll do 10-minute power pods. We're looking for industry leaders. We're looking for brands, OEMs, group managers. Come see us 10 minutes. We'll, visit us on LinkedIn. You'll shoot you for 10 minutes, talk about your NADA experience, how it's going, and get it out to the world.
Live on LinkedIn.
Live on LinkedIn. So,
and YouTube and Facebook.
Well, you can't beat some free exposure, right?
I'm thinking.
And you get the power and the benefit of the podcast you've got together, plus Digital Data Café, collaborative effort. Paul, I couldn't think of anybody better to partner with than you.
Thank you.
It's going to be exciting. And by the way, you're looking great. We know we've been following you on your journey. So you're looking good, man. You're looking good. All right. So if I'm a vendor or I'm a dealer, and I want to get set up, and I wanted to partner with you on Dealer Vendor Match, or I want to get on Sunday Night Live. I think you've mentioned it already, but tell the listeners, how do we do it? How do I get a hold of you?
Very easy. The easiest way is just to pick up the phone, old school. And that number is 203-257-4727. Or you can email us at dealervendormatch@gmail.com. Or you can visit the website, www.dealervendormatch.com, and you'll see an array of vendors. You'll see some testimonial videos. If you're a vendor, you can click to join now to review the different promotional plans that are available. We promote you to key dealership personnel throughout the country, 365 days a year for one low price. So it's very easy. If you're a dealer, there's dealer memberships. Just click on that. You do need to be a dealer to get a free dealer membership. Vendors will not be approved for that plan. And we do verify everyone before granting that membership. So it's a great opportunity for all. Come join us. Absolutely, Paul. I'm excited. And don't forget, NADA. And you had the booth number. It was 6943. All right, Paul, thank you so much again. It's always a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you at NADA. Looking forward to it, my friend. Thank you. Thank you.